Hello. Good morning. Um, yeah, yeah. Wearing my sunglasses inside because I'm cool. So, it's November 2nd, 2025. Um, I decided just now to start doing this again, talking to myself in the mirror and filming it. A little bit awkward, but I'll get over it. This is something that I used to do, but I kind of got off track with it. It's something that kind of helps me therapeutically. Um, yeah, there's been a lot going on in my life. I've been going through some massive life changes, absolutely massive life changes, and I mean it's kind of funny because the last time I made these recordings, I was I was living in an apartment, um, you know, just on and off with work, basically relying on my mom, but like contributing to the house, to the daily um, routine of things, helping with basically everything that daily life brings, dishes, taking care of the animals, cleaning the houses, doing the small stuff, the chores, helping raise my nephew, picking up my niece from school, doing these kinds of things when I wasn't working. I didn't have, like, I wasn't unemployed the entire time, but I was mostly just coasting, and definitely I would say to a degree codependent on my family, on my mom, my sister. But that was back in like the early 2000s. That was like pre-pandemic when I started making those videos. I mean, gone through a lot since then. Pandemic was kind of crazy. You can, I guess, have your speculations, your thoughts on whether or not it was a real thing. Personally, I felt like it was probably a bit geared more towards social engineering than it was actually, some kind of response to a viral outbreak. There's a lot of people that would disagree with me on that. Well, you can disagree that social engineering was certainly a part of that experience. You know, keep your social distance, keep calm, carry on, wear your mask. Stay home if you feel lightheaded, that kind of stuff. That was definitely kind of like a social, like, let's see how far we can push these people. Let's see how far we can get them to cooperate and do these kinds of things. Kind of sensible, given that there was, we were doing the whole quarantine routine. Yeah, that was a good one. Quarantine. 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 But yeah, got through that, and my mom died. Yeesh, that was a fucking head trip. Stage 4 brain cancer out of nowhere. Absolutely out of nowhere. And I feel kind of mad at the pandemic, at the people, the healthcare workers of that era, because they seem to be completely preoccupied with whether or not somebody was experiencing COVID. Excuse me, I'm gonna turn the water on for a second. Fill up my prison mug here. You can see that. Yeah, we'll get into that. So, I kind of felt maybe in some kind of way the healthcare workers who we went to during my mom's illness, during the onset of her illness, really didn't do as good of a job as they should have, because they were kind of pre-programmed to be thinking about COVID and not really addressing what else could be going on. But anyway, she got the big C, and she's gone. She died in, I think, was it June 15th, around 8 p.m., 2022. I wasn't there. I didn't get to be there. There were things going on with my family. My brother tried to kill me, actually, with his vehicle. Because at the time I was smoking pot, and we had to go about 80 miles together in a vehicle, and we don't really get along. So before we left, I cornered the bowl, meaning I just took a small hit to take the edge off, and he lost his control or his patience or his cool or whatever. Just remember looking at him, seeing all this hatred in his eyes, and then he he was playing stop and go with whether or not he was going to let me in the car. My hand was on the doorknob of the car door, and he takes off down the road, and I go right along with him like a fucking rag doll. My shit's going all over the road. My leg's going under the tire. Drags me about 100 feet, and then somehow I get out from underneath. Like my leg doesn't go completely under the tire. I detach myself from the vehicle. Face is all bloody, my leg's all bruised up. My sister just stands there and watches. I try to flag down help, and she tells the guy that I flagged down for help just to go. Don't worry about it. And she's like standing there looking at me, and she goes, I'm just gonna leave. And I was like, kind of detached from that experience at that moment, because I mean, I've been there for her through so many things, helping her raise her child, the time that she had to fly across country for a fucking dick appointment. I mean, yeah, and there's a whole bunch of shit that I was there for her for. All shit comes down on me, turns sideways for me, and she just watches and says, oh, I'm just gonna go. Then I tried talking to her about what we were going to do when my mom died, because there was this sort of rift between us happening. And she'd always had an open door policy, like always telling me, Trevor, you can just come on over. Be any time that any reason, you just come over and chill, talk with me, hang out, whatever. So I never really did that. I always kind of called ahead, but this one case, I went over to her house. Door was unlocked to let myself in. We both smoke a lot of pot, my sister and I. So she wasn't home, so I went and got the bong. So I was gonna wait here until you arrive. Just might as well help myself. There wasn't much weed to smoke. There was like some keef and a grinder. So I put that into the bowl, but before I could hit it, she walked in. She was like, what are you doing here? What are you doing with that weed? That's not yours. Put it away. You can't be here. You have to go now. And, she's acting all these kind of like fucking like I'm a stranger all of a sudden. Like, like we used to like leave nugs for each other, be all cool and shit. She would dip into my supply, I'd dip into hers, but we pay each other back. It's not like I took a fucking nug or anything. I was just scratching some fucking keef together. Not a big fucking deal. But she made it into a big deal. And I remember getting so angry at her, she was laughing at me too, and that's what really triggered me. I wanted to fucking hit her. And I stopped myself, like just my fist just an inch from her face. And then she did this weird, like, duck thing, like, 10 minutes too late. Yeah, it was kind of weird. And I gave her a hug, which she was not, like, responsive to at all. She was like, stay away from me. I gave her a hug. I said, this is the last time you're ever going to see me. And to be honest, that was the last time I ever saw her. Now, I'm not entirely sure if she's dead or alive. I haven't spoken to her since 2003 when I was in solitary confinement. And there's no trace of her on social media, and none of our mutual friends have any idea where she's been, or what's going on with her for the last, like, 3 or 4 years. There's been, like, no communication. She's not exactly one to not communicate with people. She was having relationships with a guy that was kind of crazy. She has an ex-fiance who's crazy, and then she had a baby with this other guy who's kind of crazy. So, you know, she might be dead in the ditch somewhere, and I don't fucking know. And it honestly, it does haunt me. I mean, I think I had dreams about them. My sister, my mom, even my brother, who I don't get along with. You know, sometimes my dad is there too. I just had a dream about them 2 nights ago. I really miss them. But if she wants to be found, my sister wants to be found, she'll make it easy for me to find her. Clearly, this is a sign that she doesn't want me to find her. She doesn't want to have something to do with me. So I'm working my way through that. 2023, about a year after my mom passed away, I set a gazebo on fire behind a hotel that my mom and I, we used to set at this gazebo. And, you know, I kind of decided that if she's not here anymore, then neither should the gazebo. So I set it on fire, and the guy arrested. 3rd-degree arson charge is a felony. I did 19 months, 6 months at county, 93 days in solitary confinement. Not for anything crazy. I just put myself there just to be alone. It was a bad experience. I mean, solitary is what people say it is. It's torture. It wasn't like for us the program that we were in wasn't like alone in a room. Like, we had our own cells, but we were on a rock with, you know, you could see out your door into the other cells, and you could talk to a person next to you. You could talk through the door if you want to stand there and shout through a very small crack in the door across a very echoey chamber. It's very difficult to do that, but people would do that. Or we would sometimes get an hour of rec. If we took every shower, we were allowed to take, I think, 3 showers a week. And if we took every shower, they would give us an hour of rec on Friday if we wanted it. And we can, you know, we were not supposed to, but you can go up to a cell, talk to a person. Or you can talk to the people in the cell next to you, which is what I did. There was a vent that you could speak to the person in the cell next to you or below you, because the vent connected the adjacent cells above and below. So it was all one vent that, you know, your voice carried through. But my gosh, they hit us with the cult. That's how they got us. First 96 hours, no clothes, no nothing. You're in this freezing fucking cold cell for 96 fucking hours. I can't explain to you. I mean, like, it's like, it would just, you know, I mean, like, it's just cold torture is what it is. I mean, it's part of their behavioral modification program. If you don't wise up, then that's where you end up. Or worse, you get strapped into this chair. I met this one dude, we called him Shit Eater, because he ate his own shit. He was in solitary for 2 years, and they put him into the chair on occasions. They strap you in a chair, and I think that you're what are you doing? Hang on. Sorry about that. I take care of these stray cats. The the old man sitting on the, or he's an old cat, sitting on my bed. Occasionally he'll come over into this area here and use the bathroom, even though I don't have a litter box yet. I'll get one, so I just put him outside. He's got 3 legs. Interesting fellow. He just showed up one day. Smells like he farted. Anyways, yeah, solitary. It was a bitch. It's a beast of an experience. And yeah, I was talking about the guy who got strapped in the chair. He'd be like in that chair for, I think he said like they're supposed to only keep you in there for a certain amount of time and then let you move around. But of course, we were in a county jail that was privately owned, so they did more stuff to us that you can't do on a state level. And I'm pretty sure they kept them in the chair for longer than they're supposed to legally. Because you can't. He said that when he got out of the chair, when they would come release him, like to use the restroom or to clean himself, he wouldn't be able to walk. He wouldn't be able to move his limbs because he'd be constantly in the sitting position for hours, not even able to move muscles. And that kind of fucks your body up. Dude seemed like a totally reasonable guy. Absolutely, totally reasonable. And then, you know, he told me like he was in solitary confinement for like 2 years and got to the point where he was just smearing shit all over himself and all over the walls and eating his own fecal matter and all that crazy stuff. He was like completely open and honest about it too. He was like, yeah, you know, like I just completely lost my mind in there, you know. And I was like, damn, like you wouldn't think that, you know, meeting him for the first time, walking around the little like rec yard that we had. It was like a very small courtyard with like a cage over our heads, but we could see the sky through it. Get the fresh air. Everybody walks counterclockwise outside, but clockwise inside. That was something that we noticed. Everybody talked about. It's like, you ever notice that every time we go outside, we're walking in the left-hand circle, but every time we go inside, we're walking in the right-hand circle? Some crazy shit going on. My entire experience with jail and prison was, it was a roller coaster of experiences, but, you know, looking back on it now, it was mostly positive, you know. It's HIV positive. No, but it was a positive experience. I look back on it and I'm kind of grateful for it, because, you know, it definitely helped me along the way. Now I do have my felony convictions that I have to navigate, but, you know, ironically, like 2 weeks out of prison, I got one of the best jobs of my life. I'm working steady work, going 11 months now, at a factory, $16 an hour. It's not bad. I'll get a raise at the end of the year. After being there for 3 years, I'll get another raise. After being there for 6 years, I'll get another raise. There's, you know, my boss is a felon. You know, there's potential for me to advance myself. Staying clean, sober. I mean, every now and then I have a beer, but, you know, I'm not doing any drugs, not smoking any pot. Even though I want to, but I'm not. I'm not even smoking cigarettes. I'm not even drinking coffee or soda. I'm just drinking water. On occasion, I'll drink beer. I just put in for insurance. We had an open enrollment yesterday, so I put in for an insurance plan. So maybe I can get some medication with that, and yeah, help keep me on the right track. I mean, this is something that I do for that purpose. Is talking to myself in the mirror. Eventually, I'll probably try to incorporate more elements of my progress. Right now, you can kind of see my living conditions. These are all the things that I clean. I have a slight obsession with recycling. Greta Thunberg's always in the back of my head. You know, I mean, just here's the button, but how dare I throw any of this away? I reuse them. You can see I've got like stuff for my electric razor in here, and this one has like, I'm putting a little little tabs that you get from beer cans that I'm not supposed to be drinking. You know, I'm keeping all these sandwich bags. I wash them out when I'm done using them. I haven't cleaned yet this week, so everything looks a little bit dingier than usual. But I mean, I'm staying at a hotel. Yeah, that's nasty. I'm staying at a hotel. It's literally it's the worst hotel in my city. And here this is going to just be yeah, this is how it's looking right now. It's pretty bad. It's not that bad. It's not as bad as a fucking jail cell, but I'll tell you that. It's not as bad as solitary. And you got some creature comforts. So you got this awesome tapestry of Lord of the Rings map going on. There's my, if you can see that, that's my spork from prison. Got some bikes that I used to get back and forth to work with. That's the Schwinn. I call her Nuwanda. She's got no gears. You just pedal backwards to stop. And then over here, I don't know if you can see that, I got my mountain bike. That's a Trek. But yeah, I call her Matilda. She's a work in progress. Constantly trying to find out what's going wrong with her. Working at the House of Rayford. You saw that. It's a pretty good place to work. We do chickens. So I'm staying here at this hotel for like the past basically since March of 2025. And how many months is that? It's like 7 months, 7, 8 months now. It's not easy getting a place to live as a felon. On top of that, I have no credit score, so I just opened up a line of credit for myself. I've done my court-ordered group therapy sessions, got that taken care of, paid off my restitution. All I have left to worry about now is the supervision and maintaining, compliance with my probation officers. So, I mean, I'm maintaining myself. I thought I would do these little videos, I guess, to track my progress. Keep myself sane and kind of organize my thoughts. I got a little bit out of shape while I was in prison. It's not exactly a conducive environment to work out in. Some people thrive in that kind of environment. I didn't. I read a lot. I went to classes. I got into carpentry, played guitar, had a few friends. I fucked around on some of the synthetic marijuana that they had, K2, but at a certain point I stopped doing that shit. That shit was fucking crazy. Watching people wig out, getting stuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get so high you can't fucking do anything. Being so scared to go out on the rock because you think everybody's demons and they could read your mind. I mean, that's what that fucking shit does to you. It's not like smoking regular pot. I mean, regular marijuana, I can handle the paranoia. That I just feel it comes with the territory, but K2 was a whole nother beast. So I stopped doing that shit, and that in prison is around July is when I stopped smoking. July of 2024. That's when I stopped smoking everything. Straight up. When I got out of prison, I had a few cigarettes, but kind of lost its novelty after a while, But that first cigarette, oh my gosh, nothing tasted quite like that. That hit so hard. That hit really good. You know what I'm saying? That was freedom. that was freedom. I go into the fucking halfway house, motherfucker. The big ass country boy goes, "If you ain't gay, you gotta pay." And we busted out laughing, and he hooked me up with a fucking I don't know, just a cigarette. And I sat down on the couch and we're shooting the shit, talking, and man, I remember the cigarette, and just there's like we're in this overflow room. There's bunks all over the place, but we have a TV in the middle. You know, I just remember feeling like, damn. You know, this like it felt good to be out of the prison. You know, I have a like I don't know, it was just sitting there on the couch, just having a conversation, watching TV, smoking a real cigarette, not some Bible paper. We called it Charlie, the tobacco. We called that Charlie. Deuce was K2, and Jerry Garcia was marijuana. It would be like, yo, we going to get Jerry to come by? Is Jerry coming by this weekend? We got some Jerry. Yeah. But yeah. Shit. It's a lot. It's been a lot. So I'm trying to maintain myself. I want to get back into shape. You know, I mean, I work out every now and again, but I haven't really been doing anything serious. I have a few weights I put into that bag, like a pillowcase. I'll lift those. I ride my bike like 18 miles every day, back and forth to work, plus a 9-hour shift. So I mean, like I'm keeping active. You know, I mean, it's a lot of energy that I put into my days, but yeah, I mean, I got a gut. I call it my cornbread gut. Shit's gotta go. I gotta get back into shape. Guess I'll get something to hold this with, so you're not constantly seeing me move my camera around, and you know, start making maybe some YouTube videos or something based on just putting myself back together and just my daily grind and what I deal with. Nothing in particular. I guess I can share my thoughts and reflections on the stuff that's going on in life and the realness of it or whatever. You know, I don't know. I'm a bit solipsistic, personally. It gets me through. It's depressing, but it works. I wish I had more to say. I take care of like 6 cats. The fuck's that noise? Sounded like a firework going off just now. Take care of like 6 cats. So, you know, they're all strays. They're all from the parking lot outside this hotel I live at. This hotel it's kind of a hot spot. That's what people say. I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, it smells good, and every time I come home from work, you know, there's a lot of cannabis clouds in the air, but, you know, you get people that do other things and other stuff. Got all that going on. Every day is a challenge. Every day is kind of like putting my life on the line a little bit, riding my bike back and forth to work. Every morning I encounter people that try to interact with me. Sometimes they're a little aggressive. You know, I'm not supposed to, but I have defensive weapons on me. I mean, that's just the world we live in. There's, you know, when you're a felon, they try to say that you can't have any defensive weapons. They're trying to put you out there to the wolves. You know, what am I supposed to do? Give these people motherfucking flowers when they're trying to steal my fucking backpack? You know, they're trying to grab me off my bike. I'm supposed to, like, blow bubbles at them or something? Like, the fuck, man? Come on. So, but, I mean, I've only ever had to discharge one of my weapons one time. It was just mace. Just bare mace. Some dude was coming at me, like, real fast one morning. He was like, hey! And he was coming, like, towards me. I pulled my mace out and just gave him a little spray, and he did a 360 and walked away. Yeah. So, that's an everyday thing. I'll eventually get a helmet cam on my helmet that I ride my bike with, so you can see, you know, these kind of events unfold in real time. Try to keep these all organized and maybe keep them a little bit shorter, do like some editing and stuff like that. See where it goes from here. Anyways, that's all I got. Keep your social distance.